What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming back at you guys again with a April Harpie deck profile. I will have a lot to say for this deck profile. I know, and there are many questions that are going to be asked in conjunction to it, so don't worry. I've prepared for all of that. But I'm going to get through the deck profile first, and then I'll talk more about things later, because I know a lot of you guys really want to just see the deck itself and go through there. So, let's go ahead and do that. Starting off are my monsters, and my monsters consist of 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer, 3 copies of Harpie Channeler, and 3 copies of Harpie Lady 1. Alright, from there, we're going to go into my 2 of. I got 2 copies of Harpie's Pet Dragon for some fire, and 2 copies of Harpie Oracle, 1 Harpie Harpist, and 1 Harpie Lady Sisters. So, hopefully that's all in frame. There it is. Then from there, I have 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, and that rounds out my monster lineup. From there, I'm going to go ahead and go into my spell cards, where I have triple copies of Hysteric Sign and triple copy of Elegant Egotist. Then from there, I have 1 Harpie's Feather Duster, 1 Harpie's Feather Rest, and 1 Harpie's Hunting Ground. To round out my spells are 2 copies of Summon Storm and 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. And that's it for all the spells. Alright, going into my trap cards. Alright, I have 3 copies of Infinity Impermanence, 3 copies of Harpie's Featherstorm, 2 copies of Hysteric Party, and 1 copy of Harpie Lady Elegance. And that's it. That's all the cards in the main deck. That's a total of 40. For the extra, we got the 2 copies of Cyber / Harpie, followed by 2 copies of Harpie Conductor, 1 copy of Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, 1 Winnie the Wind Charmer Verdant, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Lightning Chidori, 1 Ice Speed Zero Fine, 1 Ray Raptor Arsenal Falcon, 1 Mecha Fan of Beast Draco Sack, and 1 Divine Arsenal Double Zeus Sky Thunder. And that wraps up everything for the deck itself. Now let's go into the explanation. So the reason why I decided to wait till now to talk about this is simply just to address some of the major things to talk about. Are 1, Harpies have and currently don't have any new support, which our last support was Harpie's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fire. We have a couple of extensions of wind monsters here and there, but after the TCG's Forbidden Limited list changed at the beginning of the month, and with no Return to Samorg, no multiples of Divine Wind of Mist Valley to be a resourceful use, I really didn't have any major plans or ideas that I could utilize, because I wanted to make an extension of this deck with more utility and support. But because of how things had ended up, because of the TCG's Forbidden Limited list, it really did not help out with anything. It kind of just helped with whatever was currently going on in the meta. And for Harpies being such a casual deck, there really isn't much that is benefiting. And I mean, we know Harpies are going to not be casual, are not going to be meta. That's perfectly fine. Casual at its best, and even some extensions of Rogue, especially what happened in between 2013 to 2015, which was great. But yeah, it's okay to just accept that we're a casual deck with funsies, but it would be nice to have some respectable support, especially when we don't have a lot of really good support, here and there. It sucks. But in terms of things that have happened, I mean, we have a lot of utility cards still available. We have a lot of usage. I'm not building Primite variant because that's very expensive, and I'm not building what I've heard is now a Fiendsmith Harpie variant. I don't know. I was like running through looking for ideas and things started popping up, and I was just like, oh, I guess this is a thing. Alright. So, are you expecting those variants? Please don't. Please don't. Because our extra deck, our main deck, and just things that correspond just are not going to correspond. Especially not with how I play things. But hey, if it works for you, go for it. So, first off are my 3Os. Triple Harpie Perfumer, Triple Harpie Channeler, and Triple Harpie Lady 1. I'm going to start off with Harpie Perfumer, just because she is the one that adds the cells and traps to specifically list the Harpie Lady Sisters in its text from your deck into your hand. In that same process, she's able to add an additional card if you have a level 5 or higher Harpie on the board. While in some cases that's real easy due to the change of level thanks to Channeler with the dragon on the board and the easier access of Harpie's pet dragon First and Fire, and of course our girl in an extra deck, Cyber Slash. The whole ordeal that you'll have with Perfumer is that you want to have her get to your resource cards as fast as possible, and the more cards you'll get, which means you'll have to use the bigger monsters to do such. It will be tending to be hard because outside of Harpie's pet dragon First on Fire, Harpie Leaf Sisters will probably be your most difficult one to bring to the board first, because you need to get to Elegant Egoist. While there are ways to get to Ego fast enough to where you can drop the Perfumer and then benefit from it, it's still a lot that goes on in that case. But we do definitely need a retrain of Sisters. But I'll talk more about Sisters later. But Perfumer is a great addition. That's why we definitely run her at 3. Because the next monster, Harpie Channeler, is also ties for the most valuable card in the Harpie main deck. Harpie Channeler discards a Harpie card to summon a Harpie monster from your deck to the field in defense position, except for a copy of herself. While you control a dragon type monster, she'll become level 7. So that opens you up to your rank 7 plays, which is why I'm running 2 notable ones, as well as just the range of Link and Exceeds monsters that you can get from the rank 4s and Link 2s. Harpie Channeler is a definite must-have in this deck. Harpie Lady 1, she's going to be the primary target for Elegant Egoist next to Sisters, and is the Harpie Lady of choice that I'll be running. I run 3 of these because of the fact that it's the go-to target. She needs to be discarded and recycled with stuff like Harpie's Feather Rest. And with the lack of the heart, turned or always treated as Harpie Lady situation, especially in TCG, OCG, it was just easier to just go ahead and focus on the Harpie that'll give you the boost. I don't mind Cyber Harpie Lady, and of course the Vanilla Harpie Lady isn't bad either. But Vanilla has to I would have to start running Unexpected Die just to make sure I don't run into her, but then I still have to run the Unexpected Die, and then without fail, Cyber Harpie Lady really doesn't do much except for just be a beat stick. So, alright, that's those ladies. Then going from there, we have Harpie's Pet Dragon Fierce on Fire and Harpie Oracle, basically the extenders of the archetype. For Dragon, while you control a level 6 or lower wind monster, you can summon this card from your hand in defense. Then for Harpie Oracle, she can be such a summon while you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster. So all you really need is at least 1 Harpie on the board, and these two come out with your hand basically for free. Oracle, similar to Perfumer, gets your cells and traps that specifically list Harpie Lady Sisters in this text, but she gets them from the graveyard at the end of the turn in which she was summoned. While Harpie's Pet Dragon Fierce on Fire allows you to basically go and get your support. Basically, it's support for 2 things: being able to have that high level Harpie monster from your hand with ease, while also being able to be Exceeds material and even Link material in cases when need be. The other thing about Harpie's Pet Dragon Fierce on Fire is the ability to send a Winged Beast monster from your deck to the grave. If we were running Tri-Brigade support in here, yeah, that would definitely be great with Nerval, and then being able to go into monsters using the graveyard, but also being able to Send Harpie Harpies, who we'll talk about very shortly. Both of these are great extenders. It's just that the Cyber Dragon of the Harpies has not been out yet. Then we have Harpie Harpies and Harpie Lady Sisters. I love Harpie Lady Sisters, but of course the Garnet of the archetype currently now is just sitting here waiting for her retrain to replace her. While Harpie Harpies is simply just here for discard fodder, then allowing you to search for your level 4 winged beast monsters with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. So you can get your oracles, your perfumers, and your channelers in those cases, and be able to use them on your follow-up. So while sisters definitely need to retrain, and of course are the only way to be summoned is first through Elegant Egotist, you kind of are limited to things with sisters, but sisters can pull off some helpful setups and combos that I've shown off previously before. So that's it for the Harpies in the main deck. The only other thing is, of course, the Ash Blossom Enjoying Spring, and that's just my choice of hand trap. I am trying to work on a build that maybe incorporates another hand trap just for the usage. So that's it for that, and then let's go into the spell cards. So the spells are, the triple sign and the triple ego. Ego allows us to summon Harpie Lady or Sisters from the deck to the board with ease, as well as any of the variation of Harpie Lady that we choose to run. Sign gets Elegant Egotist from deck or grave, and then when it's up for hand or field, you get at the end phase you can add +3 Harpie cards with different names from your deck to your hand, which is great because it allows you to get to your Featherstorm, your Duster, your Channelers, and all of that. While Elegant Egotist allows you to extend and then go into your big pushes or your big plays, or swarm the field with these monsters and have them buffed up with Harpie Lady 1 so that you can take out a lot of your opponent's monsters. Great synergy between these cards. These cards are amazing, and that's why we do run the multiples of them to keep them around. Now from there, we're going to go into the one of Harpie cards, and that's Harpie Feather Duster to remove the spells and the traps that are on the board, as well as Harpie's Hunting Ground, which does it for a 1-for-1 situation. It gives the additional 200 attack and defense boost, which is okay, even though we have cards like Ebora's the Sacred Lands of the Sacred Peaks of Samorg that gives additional 300 instead of 2. So, and then we have Harpie's Feather Rest, which is just Archetype's Pot of Avarice. And you can gain an additional card for drawing if you have a level 5 or higher Harpie monster. So you see how that revolves around all of those, right? Then from there, we have the Summon Storm and the Forbidden Droplet. Droplet, I don't have any comments of, and Storm is still ultra, but very cheap. Storm's ability allows you to extend your normal summons by giving you additional normal summon. You can banish it to then pay, I think, 800 life points. No, it's 800 for the additional special summon as a level 6 or lower monster from your hand. But then you can banish it to give yourself the special summon a level 4 or lower win monster from your hand as well. So basically 2 summons for the price of 1. And with Harpie Ladies, it's something that you just definitely can take advantage of, which is why I'm running it again, because I want those additional summons. I don't want to have to run more cards than I need to, that I just can't afford to run. And if it gives me a graveyard effect, I'm definitely going to use it too. While Droplet allows me to send cards from my field to the grave to negate effects and then cut attack points, which is great. Especially because I can send my Sign or my Harpies and benefit from that as well. Or even set up for my Hysteric Party. So, that is it for my spells. Now we're going to go into my traps. I love Imperm. Imperm is great. I'm not running Veiler, which is why Imperm does get its VP when it's used. It's its main MPV status when it comes MVP status for hand traps, because it negates the monster effect overall, and also deals with the column as well, so that your opponent can't use the abilities of cards in there as well. Now speaking of that, Harpie's Featherstorm, we love Harpie's Featherstorm. We also fear that it's probably the reason why we haven't got any new Harpie cards, because they'd have to also figure out with this. With Featherstorm's ability to negate The activation of your opponent's monster effects until the end of the turn is substantially great for why Harpies have a lot of combatants with a lot of decks. There's also the factor of you activating it while you control a Harpie monster for just easy access, and all you need is a winged beast to trigger the card overall. The getting Harpie's Feathered Duster from the deck or grave is fine when it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect, but it's just one of those things that's there. Hysteric Party, good for swarming the board, putting your Harpie ladies onto the field, no problem at all. And then the Harpie Lady Elegant, I want to pin in another card as a target for Oracle and Perfumer, particularly Perfumer, so that I didn't have to waste too many things. And I'm not running Alluring Mirror Split anymore, just because it did a lot of stall out for me. But that's pretty much it for the main deck. That is my 40 cards. And now we can go on into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I'm running the 2 copies of Cyber/Harpie Lady. She is technically our boss monster. She has a lot of utility in this deck when it comes to her easy access for her Synchro Summon, because you do not need a tuner, you can use the Harpie monster as the tuner. In addition to that, her ability to bounce definitely helps disrupt combos. But while she doesn't negate, there are a lot of things that, you know, still fluctuate her for being the current boss monster for the archetype as of now. Harpie Conductor, which I decided to bump up from 1 to 2 simply because I love Tri-Brigade Frigide, but when I'm locked due to the effects of Harpie's Feather Rest, I have to go straight for Wind. So Conductor will be the easier option next to Winnie in terms of Link monsters. And while the Link climb situation is definitely an issue of its own, I had to do what I could to balance out things just for the consistency of the strategies in tow. Even if I can just sit on the Conductor, it's perfectly fine. Speaking of sitting on a monster, the 1 copy of Harpies play Phantasmal Dragon. This is another monster that you can sit on in conjunction with Conductor, and they can basically protect your board till Dragon has no more material. But if Dragon is swinging for damage and there's not much your opponent can do in terms of getting rid of it, it stands out. It's probably one of the most useful setups for the Harpies. Very OG, but still useful. Winnie, just for a win target. Esprit Little Knight, great monster for removal. Great card to just bring out to the field, especially with IP Masquerena, because you can go into an IP and another monster and then link into her and then give her protection as well. Nightmare Unicorn, who can also be the target for IP Masquerena and has the ability to bounce. So let's scoot the cards over because we're now going to go through all my Xyz monsters. Chidori for its removal of set cards and bouncing cards to the top of the deck. Zero fine for her negation, and then making herself a buffed up monster to swing at things. Ray Raptor Arsenal Falcon to help bring Winged Beast to the board. Draco Sack for its tokens, and still a reliable 7. There's tons of 7s as well. And then Divine Arsenal AA2 Sky Thunder, just for the removal during the battle phase. And still a prominent part of the extra deck. I'll get my Typhoons when I get my Typhoons. But that pretty much just clears out everything for this deck. No big major gimmicks, no big major running things around. Because trust me, if I wanted the gimmicks and stuff, I definitely would have done it. But stay tuned for when May's video comes out. Actually, no, I'm taking my break in May. So I'll probably maybe have a video before May starts for you guys. And I'll probably be your May video while I take my time away from YouTube. So with that said and done, thank you guys so much for the support. And thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. I have some more things coming up for you guys, hopefully in the near future, and you guys will definitely enjoy those. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more of my content to my channel. My social media links are in the description box below. And with that said, thanks everyone for watching. HBJ signing out. Take care.